What's up, guys? This is Kephas. Welcome back to WoW Leveling Wednesdays. We are still here leveling up our Paladin, blasting through the levels. It's been awesome, I must say. I do enjoy the leveling in this game a lot. I really do. It's kind of funny because like last time I'm not really one who likes to debate whether or not I like retail or well, I should rephrase that. I'm not one who likes to debate which one's better. I think that depends on your personal perspective. I think that has a lot to do with it. But I can talk all day about which one I like better and what aspects I like better. It's funny because like generally speaking, I prefer Classics leveling better. I won't lie about that. I do generally prefer Classics leveling a little bit more. I think it's more involved. I think it's a lot more fun. It's a lot more like of an investment. And I can make a video just about that alone, that aspect of the game alone. Having said that, though, with how WoW is, like modern WoW, how it is, I think that the system that they have now is better for modern WoW with the scaling. And even though like I kind of consider WoW Classic a very zen experience because of how it's a grind. It takes a long time, and you can just kind of chill. WoW Retail is sort of a zen experience as well, just because of like how little effort it takes. And I don't necessarily mean that in a bad way. I really don't. I don't think it's as good because of that. But I can see where some people might not mind it. I can see where some people might enjoy it. It really just depends. I just have always enjoyed leveling a lot. I go back and forth on how leveling is in retail now, just because of how like it's not as it's weird because it's not as easy as it was before they did the change, like with the scaling. It was a lot easier. I mean, like now I do have to be a little bit more careful. Depending on what class I play, especially. I mean, you can die if you're really not paying attention, if you really do pull too many. But it is pretty quick, and it is pretty like uninvolved. Like there's not a lot that you have to do. You're pretty much given everything. I mean, there's just like there's something to the old. Like the more sorry, I'm kind of like getting caught on my words a little bit because it's hard to explain this, but like the more I play TBC, the more I appreciate leveling up in the older version of the game because of just like there were things that I took for granted, because I remember when a lot of changes went through, like getting rid of spell ranks, thinking how stupid that was, and now I like spell ranks. I mean, it is a gold sink, but it's like I like having to go back to town every now and then. I mean, I like to break that up and go back to town, sell stuff on the auction house. I like that, like, I can actually make decent gold, like, because I'm not being given gold. Like, gold isn't, like, falling from the heavens. Just, like, same with gear, man. Like, there are times where I will get a quest, right? And I'll be like, oh, man, this quest, if I could do this, I would get such a cool weapon. And like that's exciting. Like there'll be like, man, if I could find like one other person to do this quest with, I'll get this awesome weapon that'll probably carry me through like a few levels, and it's actually worth my time. That's interesting. Like that's such a foreign concept, to retail, because like in retail, that's not like getting gear is whatever. I mean, there's heirlooms. Even without heirlooms, like with this character, we're not using heirlooms on this character, but getting gear is a non-issue. And even if you're a little bit under geared, it's not a big deal. So you don't really have to worry about gear. You certainly don't have to worry about gold. You get all the gold you're gonna need. And you're really not going to need any. You don't need to get food items. You don't need to eat or drink. That doesn't matter. In Classic, I'm keeping every food item I find. I'm keeping, every potion that drops. Like, those matter. Those have saved my life a lot. It's actually kind of funny because, as a paladin, I literally am making the decision, okay, do I buy drinks, or do I use Blessing of Wisdom? And for a while, I used Blessing of Wisdom until I started to, you know, be able to make a decent amount of gold. And then I started to buy drinks because it wasn't a big deal then. You know, there's a lot to the experience that it may not seem like much, but it actually matters quite a lot. And like the talent trees is one of the biggest things. And I think that I think Legion really made me realize how nice talent trees are. They might be cookie cutter, they might be whatever, but I actually think, like, even if you follow a cookie cutter build, they matter more than I realized. Path of Exile has one, and it's awesome. And Diablo 2 had it. I mean, WoW has it. You know, I actually do like talent trees. I think they're more fun. I like that. I mean, I can go respec. I do like. I mean, there are things that I wish the old game had. I mean, like my perfect game would be like a combination of both. Like, you know, like if I could have dual spec, for example, it would be kind of nice, because then because there are certain things that like dual spec gives you an incentive to try more specs. Without it, you have to respec every time. That's such a tedious thing. To the point where it's like it's not really worth not doing it. But then there are other things that it's like, okay, this, you know, there are things that it's like it's less convenient, but it actually makes the game better. Hunter pets is a good example. You know, like a lot of that kind of stuff I actually think is better. So, like, and there's just some of the class designs. Like, it's kind of funny because, like, it's not a specific to WoW thing. Like, you know, it's, when I say, like, all the time, like, you know, it just depends on your perspective. Like, you're not wrong for liking retail more, even though I like classic more. You are wrong if you say that by default retail is a better game. Like, and you say that, like, it's because it's newer, and you say that outright like it's a matter of fact when it's not. That's not true. That you might think so, but there's plenty of reasons why someone would feel differently. And you're wrong if you say the other way around, like classic is a better game. It depends. Like it just depends on what you like. For me, it is. For me, it's a much better game. But this isn't a specific problem to WoW. It's actually something I was like kind of realizing recently with a game purchase I made. A little, like, a couple weeks ago from recording this, or maybe about I don't know, not too long ago, a game called Biomutant came out. And I remember seeing that game advertised on Facebook a bunch. And I didn't know much about it. It was made by, I think, THQ Nordic made it. And, you know, I just saw it and I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. I don't know. I actually didn't even know what it was at first. But I kept seeing ads for it, and I was like, huh, you know, wonder what this game is. And then I watched some videos about it. I was like, oh, this actually looks cool. You play as a little rodent humanoid creature, and it's like post-apocalyptic. It looks kind of cool. And so, like, I was like, whatever, like, maybe I'll pick that up. I don't know. I watched some reviews on it, and what's funny is, like, the reviews I saw were all, like, not all of them, but a lot of them were really negative. And what's funny is that negativity is actually what made me want to get the game, because I was like, it can't be as bad. I mean, look at it. It can't be as bad as people are saying. Like, it just, I don't believe. And like what people were complaining about wasn't stuff that would bother me. And what was there was stuff that I was like, man, this looks kind of cool. Even if it's not a perfect experience and it might be a little jank, it's still something that I want to support. So I bought it because it's innovative and it looks amazing, and there's nothing out there that's quite like it. And from what I've played so far, which I've played a good amount of it, I want to play more. I'm just so addicted to WoW Classic TBC right now that it's hard to play anything else, to be honest. But I've played it, and I actually like it a lot. But I can see where people are coming from who may not like it or appreciate it for what it is. And I think it's, you know, for me, as like an old school gamer, you know, who has a different set of values and a different set, you know, in terms of, like, when I say values, I mean what I value from the game. So literally values, like, you know, I have a different mentality, different mindset when it comes to what makes a game good. A lot of people, you know, like, it's actually kind of sad because, you know, for example, a lot of people think that every game has to have the combat of Dark Souls, the depth of that, and if it doesn't, then the combat's not any good. Which is unfortunate. A lot of people think that every game has to have the graphics of, Horizon Zero Dawn, or else it's not good, and so, or it has to be mature. I mean, there were literally people saying that Biomutants looks too much for kids and it shouldn't be on Xbox or PlayStation because those are adult consoles. And I'm like, you couldn't possibly be an adult saying that, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. Like, just a lot of weird criticisms for the game, and it's like, you have like games that just continue to follow this rigid, standard or whatever, that like every game has to be like that, and it's like, why can't a game be different? Because if we never got something different, we would have never gotten Breath of the Wild. You know what I mean? I mean, or even Zelda in general. I mean, you think about back in the day, like, innovation comes from people that want something different. And different is not always good. Like, just being different doesn't make it good, but breaking from the norm isn't bad either. It's actually good, especially when it works. It's really good. And there's a lot about Biomutant that I think works. Now, the problem that people have, what people are often hung up on, is that it's not completely polished. It's a little bit jank. It's not a AAA game. It does require a AAA price, I guess. Which I think that's kind of weird to say that like $60 is a AAA price. I mean, like, it looks like a finished game. I mean, it looks like and it takes a lot of time. So I don't know how do you quantify a AAA price? I don't know. I mean, to me, it's like, if you like the game and you play it a lot, it's worth $60. If you don't like the game, then it probably wasn't worth $60. That's unfortunate. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, it just depends. Like, so I think for some people it's probably worth the price, and for some people it's not. It's just simple as that. But, it kind of goes into, like, the things that people value. You know what I mean? And I think that, like, for me, what I like about Biomutant is something very similar to what I like about, older school WoW, is that I get a different experience from it than I get from a lot of games, for one. It's got a lot of, I mean, WoW kind of like, I mean, it's older, so it's not quite the same, but it might be a little bit jank. But that doesn't take, at least for me, it doesn't take away from the experience. Because the experience itself is charming and fun and engaging. And, kind of like Biomutant reminds me a lot of older games like Dark Souls or Dark Chronicle or whatever you know it as. A lot of those older games on the PlayStation 2 that were different, you know what I mean? Like, whoa, this game's got like, it's like a combination of Zelda and The Sims, like, it's got all these crazy systems, like Level 5 always did stuff like that. I mean, like, they're the ones that made, were they the ones that made Ni no Kuni? It's another game that's like, had, these unique systems in it, you know what I mean? Like, or like they'll combine things from other games that like they blend them together, and it's like, oh, holy crap, this is kind of cool. There are a lot of games like that. I mean, Valheim is kind of like that a little bit. It kind of combines the the adventure, like, single player experience with a survival game, and it's kind of cool. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, and that's like in a little bit of a different way. Stardew Valley, like, it's a we're gonna bring back the Harvest Moons of old and add in a little bit of a dungeon crawler to it, like, that's kind of cool. I like that. I applaud when developers try stuff like that, and and it works. I mean, it's fun. Like, it actually is, to me. It's really fun, and it's something different. It's not the same old. And I feel like that for a lot of people, if a game doesn't fit a certain mold, that it's not good, and it's a little bit frustrating for me that's the mentality. But that would explain where the disconnect can be, because like maybe I'm Principal Skinner, it's the children who are out of touch or something. I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and I prefer an older style. I mean, I feel that way about a lot of things. I'm still here on YouTube, and as a as a viewer, I miss Let's Plays, and Let's Plays aren't really as popular now. I miss Let's Plays. I certainly miss them. YouTube is like dominated by like drama commentary stuff now, and it's annoying, but like I certainly don't enjoy that too much, but I do miss like Let's Plays, and Let's Plays are kind of not as popular now. So But I know that I'm not, I don't represent like everyone. But sometimes I feel like as a game fan, I'm not like I'm not with the times. Maybe I'm just old fashioned and I like old fashioned style of games. I don't know. Like I don't want every game to be, and I love Fortnite. I don't want every game to be Fortnite. I don't want every game to be competitive or every game to be a live service or every game to have this like, it's the Dark Souls of this genre. You know what I mean? Like I don't want every game to be Battle Royale. Like I like when games are a little bit different. And I like, sometimes I like when games, try going back and doing older school things or just being unique and trying different things out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I love that innovation, and I love that, for me at least, not every game has to be polished. It can have some jank, and sometimes that jank is part of the charm, so that's, and games don't always have to be streamlined. Sometimes the lack of streamline is part of what makes it good, so that it just depends on what people like and what people value. I was talking to my wife today about this. I actually, I prefer games that are more cartoony, and and she kind of does too. I mean, it just depends on the game, but graphics are great, but she pointed out probably part of the reasons why I'm that way is because cartoony games are a little bit easier for me to see. They're actually a lot easier for me to see, so that might be why. But either way, it works for me, and I prefer cartoony, WoW's. I would, I see WoW remade in Unreal Engine, and it's like, oh my god, that would be amazing. But at the same time, I'm also like, I actually would prefer that it didn't do that, because I prefer I wouldn't mind to have more detail and look amazing and have more, shading and color, that kind of stuff. But, I like the cartoony style. I would rather it be a little bit more cartoony than be more realistic. Like I said, it can get more detailed and all that kind of stuff, and have better, better detail and lighting and everything. But it doesn't have to be realistic. At least to me. I mean, other people might feel differently, but that's just preference. So it just depends on what you prefer. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. I thought, Biomutant kind of, it got me thinking about that a little bit. Like, man, maybe it's not just it's not just a WoW thing. It's just what people prefer, and the mentality that people have. And sometimes I don't agree with it, and sometimes that's okay. But it is sad when a game like Biomutant comes out and it just kind of because it doesn't fit the norm or a certain mold, it kind of gets, I don't want to say review bomb, but it kind of affects the opinions that people have of it, and I think it's kind of unfortunate. And maybe people that like certain types of games, not every game has to be for everyone, right? So that's kind of the thing. But yeah, anyways, it's just a good thought. Different strokes for different folks. People have different tastes. But I do think that there is a place for unique, quirky, sometimes unpolished games. So especially when they're innovative and fun. But anyways, that's my thoughts on that. I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comments below. If you played Biomutant, what are your thoughts on games and polished and just that kind of stuff? Love to hear about that in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. And if you'd like to see more videos, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook, and if you'd like, you can support my work on Patreon. Links to all that stuff can be found in the description below. This is Kephas. Until next time.